Many of them already I showed you before, but it's amazing even now. Try to see what this particular nature trail have. I think mostly the time-wise, like early June and the late June is completely different, and as July and August, lots of different plants are coming up in the flowers. So yeah, it is kind of interesting, and one of the things that I felt really interesting is that last year I became interested in these identifications of wildflowers and so forth in this area. And so when I noticed last year, some of them already flowered and everything is, so I could identify it. But when the spring growth comes up, and it's completely different in the spring. The new leaves are kind of soft and very docile looking. Even the thistle, for example, kind of a pretty looking plants there. And so, those things are interesting to see how the young plants are different from matured plants. So this is, like I showed you some of those, and I hope that I could identify more in future. This spring, I wonder what they are here. Very, very nice and soft growth of this particular plants for a long, long time, and I wondered what they are. But now I know what it is. This is Tambuweed, Russian Thistle. When it's flower, it becomes all of a sudden very, very harsh, prickly plants, and at the late fall they tumble. They kind of move themselves from the ground and then start to tumble. And I show you what you mean by that. Okay, here, this is last year's tumbleweed growth here, still remains on the ground. And this particular prickly seed head, it's very, very tough, and it's not good for the cattle or anything. And this is the new growth. Yeah. New growth, old growth, old growth. So this is the buckhorn planting, and it's kind of pretty, and I think this is the first year I noticed this particular plant, but I think it's everywhere. Here this is a little bit marsh, wet area, I guess. So yeah, it is interesting that I didn't see this last year. And this is a silver sagebrush, and it's everywhere, and there are lots of different kinds of sagebrush as well, but this is the first one I could identify. And this is also, it's called wavy leaf thistle, and it is very magnificent, statue-esque thistle, and so yeah, it's a common thistle here. This is very common, blue flax, and it's very, very pretty when you see them abundantly blooming. And this is a grove marrow, also very pretty when you see them everywhere. And so those plants that I didn't know before last year. Last year I got noticed this particular mallow, but yeah, it's kind of amazing that I never seen this one before last year. This is again a prickly poppy, crested prickly poppy, and there's like 3 different kinds in this area, different species, and I'm sure this is crested prickly poppy, and it's a native plant. This is a plains prickly pear. Again, this is also prickly as well. It's kind of dangerous to walk around this area here because it's everywhere. And this is a wild rose. It's very, very common, and also this is kind of a prickly. It's kind of a hostile plant, but the flowers are beautiful. And bindweed, yellow sweet clover, and treading fleabane. And these are lissome. This is another thistle called the musk thistle. And this is golden pea, in other words, huntang. And these 2 following grasses, I thought it was the same plant in the beginning, but now I realize it's completely different. The leaves are completely different structure. This big one has a very narrow, dainty leaves, and this younger looking one has a much coarser leaves, and so they are completely different. And you can see the seed head is already coming up from this particular small one. And so yeah, if you know these plant names, I'd like to know that, so could you let me know?